So today, when I'm recording this, is Wednesday, July 31st, which, if you asked me this morning what day it was, my husband asked me, is it the 31st or is it the 1st? I said, I don't know, it's Wednesday, which, because it was Quiltcon registration day this morning. And I did not register for Quiltcon last year, so I was not privy to what the experience was gonna be. I heard it was a little chaotic, but I went in prepared, and let me show you how I prepped for Quiltcon registration, and then I'll tell you what happened, and we'll follow up to see where this goes. So let me give you a look at my notes that I wrote. So in the past, I have done the lecture pass the first year when I went in Austin, and then the second year I went in Phoenix 2 years later, because 2021 was Quiltcon at home. And so 2022, registration went great as far as I remember. I do remember I was registering while driving to work because my phone was doing the job for me. Anyways, I did get one class at that point and did a lecture pass. And so that was 2022. So 2023, I didn't go because that was in North Carolina. No, I haven't gone 2 years. So okay. Yes, okay. Clearly I've been living under a rock, or don't know what a day or year or month it is. So 2020 I did go, 2021 I did not, 2022 I did go, it was in Phoenix. 2023 I did not go, that's when it was in Georgia, and just life was crazy at that point. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know why I didn't go. At the time of registration, I wasn't sure about flying out that way, and then 2023 happened and everything with my dad and getting engaged and the wedding, and that was a lot to take on. And then I also didn't go this year, February, when it was in North Carolina, because we were just post-wedding, still settling from all that. So I was like, it's in Phoenix, we're gonna have a good time. So when I looked at this year's stuff, I wasn't too keen on a lot of the lecture topics, which those usually don't sell out, so I wasn't super worried about that. And when I looked at it initially, there weren't a lot of like classes that I thought were going to jump out me. And so there were no long arm classes this year, which was kind of a bummer. And then, and so the more I looked at it, I kind of looked at it when the announcement was made and then kind of let it simmer. And then I looked back at it again last night, and I picked 3 classes that I was interested in. And so actually I had 4. So I made my little clipboard so I would be ready to go. And so my classes that I was interested in, the special tour with Mary Fawns was very entertaining and very enthusiastic. I loved her spirit, her enthusiasm, and all that good stuff. And so I went when they did that in Austin. I didn't register for whatever reason. The last time I was in Phoenix, I figured I would be able to buy somebody's past day of, and nobody was selling it, so I didn't get it then. And so I made sure to add that to my list, and there I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday options for that. So I was like, okay, that'll be fine. And then I was looking at mono printing, which kind of reminded me a little bit of like my photo background. There were 2 dates available for that, and then Pixels for Success, so all about pixel quilts. And that's the one that intrigued me the most. And so I had that on my radar. There was a Thursday option and a Saturday option. And then swap a block screen print. I've done some screen printing before on my own and kind of like fumbled my way through it. So I was intrigued to, one, learn how to do it from a real person instead of like me trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do from the box and hope that it works the best. And 2, see how it can incorporate into quilting, because I've done screen printing on shirts, and I've done a lot of freezer paper stencils, but I was intrigued. So that was on my list, and there were 2 options for that, a Thursday evening or a Saturday as well. And then one that caught my eye last night was Turn Your Quilt into Cross Stitch. And I noticed initially that there was a lot of hand work kind of classes, and I was just, that's not my thing. But kind of thinking about it again, cross stitch is kind of the one handcraft that I do go back to, like needlework kind of stuff, and it might be interesting. I was kind of thinking about it, I was like, how cute would an Elizabeth Hartman pattern be as a little cross stitch sampler? Like, I can just imagine cute little cross stitch dinosaurs. So that was where my mindset went with that, and there was only one offering for that. So I was like, well, that could be my, if I only get into one class, that's what I feel like I could likely get into. So I told my husband, I was like, my alarm's going off at 6:30 tomorrow morning so that I can be on my computer and ready to go at 7, because I'm Pacific time. Registration was listed in Eastern time, so registration started at 10 a.m. on Eastern Coast, which meant 7 o'clock here, and I didn't have to be at work till 9 o'clock. So I was snoozed my alarm 15 minutes, and then so I got up at 6:45 and brushed my teeth, got ready, ready to sit on the couch. That's all I was doing. And I opened up, I was in the queue, and it was ready to go, and it was going, it was all good. And then as I was in the queue, 10 o'clock for them happened, 7 o'clock here. I got this visual, and I was like, okay, great. This is like Ticketmaster. We're moving along. And then about as soon as I posted that picture to my Instagram story saying, here we go, everything crashed. And my screen went blank, and I was trying to see if anyone was posting about stuff, and I didn't know what to do. And so it was kind of one of those like waiting. Do I just give up? Do I just go from here? And so I just sat there at my computer, and then went and did a little bit of something else, and then came back and looked and refreshed, trying to make it happen, and then nothing happened. And then suddenly I got an email that said, we're back up and going. And so I clicked on it. I got in, was able to register, and it worked everything good for me. And then I almost forgot to add the tour. And so I went back to that, got that. And I actually got all 3 classes and the tour. So I was able to register for 4 things and not have anything kick me out. So the only thing is, not long after that, it like completely crashed again, like catastrophic failure. And so there was an email and social media post from the Modern Quilt Guild that is completely on pause. There's registrations not open anymore right now. Like, it's pure chaos. And so I don't know if my registration is solidified. I know I put in my credit card information, and so we are currently at the point where I don't know if I'm in my classes or not. So they said they should know within 48 hours. So this is Wednesday right now. So this is kind of a little vlog. We'll see what happens come Monday. We'll see if we have any updated information. So hang out with me. I'll see if I sew anything, and we'll see if we get some Quiltcon updates, because I really want to go and I really want to do all those classes. Let's see. Well, at least while we wait for Quiltcon updates, I can tell you I got a new rotating mat, and I got a brand new blade in this guy, because if you watched any of my other cutting recently, or your cutting you're about to see, it was kind of rough. So, new blade, new rotating mat. Time to do some half square triangling. But I don't know if I'm going to half square triangle in this video, so this could be a false alarm. But at least you have this to look forward to, and it's pretty amazing so far. It's 17 inches square, so far so good. We are back for the post Quiltcon registration update, just so I can give you some info as to where things stand, where I think they stand. I don't know, we'll see. So on Thursday, they sent out an email saying that, as you know, was a hard day at the MQG for everybody, for those on staff and those that were trying to register, and that we had to muddle through another fiasco, and they're still trying to figure out the actual problem of what caused everything to happen. And so they came down to saying it failed catastrophically. So they have paused registration for anyone else, and so with that, they're not opening it until mid-August. So if you haven't registered for Quiltcon and are still thinking about it, good news, you still have time. And so that'll give them time to hopefully figure out this new system, figure out why it crashed, what it did, all that stuff. And so there's still a chance. And so, I mean, they did the best they could. It was not on their fault. They had this new program, a new tech that they had gone through all the testing for and all that. So it's just crazy things happen. So they're going to reopen, and they said that they will announce about 5 days before when they know when they're going to reopen, so that people can prepare and get their time ready and all that. So and then it goes to say, if you registered for Quiltcon, which according to my records and my credit card statement, I was able to register for Quiltcon. yay. They're still going through when they have to confirm and registration and payments, transactions and records and all that stuff, which sounds no fun at all. So kudos to them for going through that process of having to check everybody that did get through. And so obviously that's going to take its own adventure. And so once they're complete, they're going to reach out to attendees that had complications and try and keep registration to what everybody had got to the best of their abilities. So hopefully that stays as it is and that I stay at all my classes that I got. So again, at this moment, I am in 3 classes and doing the tour. And so my classes again are turning your quilt into a cross stitch and pixels for success, finer points of pixel design, swap-a-block screen printing, and then also the special exhibit tour on Friday. That's the time frame I chose. All of my classes are stacked on Thursday, which I feel is kind of nice. And then once the dust settles of everybody else registering, I'll go back and look at those lectures and see what I want to do. The lectures tend to not sell out, which is a plus. And then even when it comes to the day of, and if I get bored walking around the trade show, I can go to lectures and pay that day. Sure, it's going to be a little bit more, but it's an option. So with that, I have successfully booked my Airbnb, so I have a place to stay. I haven't booked my flight yet because I am still debating renting a car versus Ubering. If you haven't heard my Quiltcon experience last time I was in Phoenix, I Ubered everywhere, which was fine. And except for my last trip from a quilt shop that I cannot remember the name of right now. I went from the quilt shop to my Airbnb and I left my bag of fabric that I had bought at that shop in the car, and it took me all week to try and get it. It was so chaotic, so stressful, and no fun at all. So that's why I'm debating renting a car, just so I don't have to do that again. And seeing if it ends up being about the same price as Ubering from one to the next, and going from there. So there we are with our Quiltcon 2025 current update. So if you are going, if you survived the experience that was registration, let me know what classes you're in, or what lectures you're interested in, or what hoops you've jumped through and what you plan to do while you're there. Or if you're in Phoenix or have traveled to Phoenix, let me know what quilt shops I should check out and say, yes, you should rent a car, and maybe I'll fly in a little bit earlier. So that is my update. I hope that the rest of Quiltcon experience goes well, and we're all gonna have a great time in February. So I hope to see you there, and happy sewing.